being that this is the first year of an auction draft, I'm not really sure if I have a perfect strategy in mind, but I'm going to try to spend a good amount of my money up front on some top players, and then see if I can get some value towards the end.
All I know is that typically in an auction, the guy with the most money wins. And I am the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and I have more money than anybody in this room, so I have a feeling I'm going to win this thing.
I think bench players are going to win this league. Whoever has the best bench will win the league this year. So you got to have a decent starting lineup, but there's a lot of bye weeks. So if you've drafted a good bench, you're going to do very well in this league.
I see a lot of more tandem running back teams in the NFL. They're not relying on one player as much. So the running backs, I think, are going down in value a little bit because you can't guarantee that your player is going to get as many touches as he did last year. So I see the running backs going down a little bit in value, maybe quarterbacks and tight ends, going up a little bit.
I think the NFL's really transitioned to a passing league now. They're making the rules really difficult for defensive backs. It's easier to throw. Part of the reason is fantasy football, they say, So we'll see, but I think we're going to have more high-scoring deals. Having more wide receivers in play is big. I think a lot of our guys are going to go run and shoot. Just starting one running back and going with 4 wides, and that's going to work out for them, I think, all right, whereas 10 years ago you couldn't have done it.
We're learning now what divisions we're going to be in, and I think I'm in a pretty easy division. So I think Cowboys are going to come out of the North, and then I'm not sure who's coming out of the Central. It sounds like maybe the Bills. Matthew's always good there at the Bills, and then the other squads I didn't hear, so we'll have to see.
It's gone a lot better than I thought it would because we've got a lot of rookies in here that have never been involved in the auction draft, and everybody's doing pretty well except for the Cardinals. They have no idea what's going on. They're absolutely horrified to bid on anything, but they should have the advantage going through the second half.
This is the first type of auction draft that I've done, and I think I'm all right though. Everyone that I want now I'm going to be able to get. So
it's going very well for me. I think I have an advantage over people just because I have experience and I know what I'm doing.
So the end goal now is to get as many mediocre players as I can because everyone good is gone. First time doing this, so I'm learning a lot.
Well, here's what I've done today, and I don't know if it's the best strategy, but Ethan and I, we've not paid over 40 bucks for any player. Now I paid 39 4 times, but if my team looks really good, and I think I'd put my team up against just about anybody's right now. At least I'm not Ed Pearson. You should see his lineup right now. Yeah, it's horrendous.
Gary Jury, in my opinion, has the best team so far going into the second part of this draft.
Did you run out of girls to interview, or?
For our league this season, I expect a quick start from my team. I don't know, the skill players that I have are all older, so I need them to perform and not get hurt.
Just beating the other teams is always fun. Beating the other teams, it is a lot of fun. Beating Matthew is always a treat. Beating Dirk and Ed and Fred, that's old hat.
Matthew's like a 6-time Super Bowl champion, so we always were out to get him too. In fact, we don't even trade with him because he's not fair. He cheats. He cheats to win. That's how he wins every year. He cheats.
Matthew is usually the guy to beat, in my opinion, but I've been beating him thoroughly lately. So
we're always looking to beat the McCowan boys, Darren and Tyler, because they think they know everything and they don't.
Do you have a response to that?
It's not even worth responding to. Next question.
That has never happened. It won't happen this year, and that will never happen. Have you seen the way he drafts? The best thing he's got going for him are his sons, and neither one of them know nothing. So, thank you.
Excuse me, Coca-Cola paid me $2 million just to stand here and hold this can while I sip it. It's the quickest $2 million I ever made.
That's the best thing he has in this draft, I'm telling you. Best thing.
I underachieve every year. I have no idea how I don't win the league every year with this bunch of goofballs that we got. So I don't know. I feel confident every year. We'll just hope it plays out that way.
I think I did okay. I guess obviously we'll see at the end of the season, but I spent a little too much on quarterback, and it left me hurting at the running back position. So I picked up quite a few running backs at the end of the draft. We'll see if hopefully one or two of them pans out and helps my team.
You know, it's going to be another strong year for the Colts this year. We had a great draft, came out of it very strong early on out of the gates. We got 4 or 5 players within the first 6 or 7 rounds we were real happy with on there. Kind of phased out there for a couple rounds, but then we finished strong down the stretch. We're going to be a very deep team this year, have a lot of different options out there, so we should once again be in the playoff hunt down the end of the year.
I think it went pretty well, kind of like I thought. I got one good player up front, Eddie Lacy, to start my team, kind of a foundation running back, and then I kind of just laid back and waited for my receivers to come for me. Spent a little bit of money on quarterback, and that worked out pretty well, getting Romo and Cutler. I was a little short on tight end is where I kind of messed up, but otherwise I feel pretty good about it. I got a couple backups at the end for my dollars, but otherwise I felt like I did pretty good in the middle of the draft to get more better players that are starting caliber.
I went for some big gun studs with my tight end, my running backs, and then a couple wide receivers. And then I had to take a long break for half an hour, but very happy. And then at the end I went for some guys that could burst out, catch a lot of points once they get in. So it was great.
We're going to come at people with a strong balanced team, not so much with just 1 or 2 great players on there, but we're coming at people with a strong balanced team and a deep bench.
CJ Spiller. I think he was my first running back taken, my 5th player overall. I really didn't want him, but I didn't have a running back, and he probably has the most upside of the running backs that were left when I drafted him. So I probably overpaid for him as well. But that was part of the strategy. I needed a running back, a #1 running back. So hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Hopefully he's the CJ Spiller of 2 years ago and not the CJ Spiller of last year.
Yeah, the only where I messed up, I should have paid a little more for a tight end a little earlier, but I've got a couple upside guys. Heath Miller, who I probably overpaid for what he is, and then Travis Kelce, who should be a good upside pick for me.
Oh, I'm gonna win. I feel very confident that I'm going to win the whole thing with the roster I have now. Obviously, I'll have to make some mid-season adjustments, maybe some trades or free agencies, but I'm gonna win it all.
We're going to be shooting for the division championship this year, and once again, we ended up finishing 3rd last year, so division champions last year. So we should be looking for the same thing again this year.
There's a couple rosters that I thought were not super great, but I'll have to look and see. I mean, the defending champion Dolphins, not real good in my opinion. But we'll see. I need to look and do a little more research on that before I decide, but I think I should be competitive.
Actually, I think everyone is loving this a lot more than the snake draft. I love it. I am loving it. It is great.
I think it went really good. I think it came together well. It was a great event. I think everybody enjoyed it. Auctions are fun. They're way more exciting than a regular snake draft. You can go out and get the players you want, which a lot of people did. I think it worked out well. I think everybody liked it, and it should be a good season.